Now, he led Pakistan's army for more than 10 years before becoming the Minister of Defence and the nation's 10th leader. Joining me now from Dubai is former President of Pakistan, Pervez Musharraf. Thank you very much indeed for being with us. I know that you were born in Delhi during the time of the British Empire. You were just a child when Partition happened, but there were so many appalling experiences on both sides. Do you think that's part of the problem today when we talk about India-Pakistan relations? There's just so much painful history there.
Yes, I think that past persists, unfortunately. It persists, unfortunately, because India has not genuinely reconciled to the creation of Pakistan. Therefore, this confrontationist stance, unfortunately, continues.
And yet there were high hopes when the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi invited his Pakistani counterpart to his swearing in. Many observers took that as a sign of a new chapter, but it didn't really happen. Why not, do you think?
No, because I think the one is to show, which is superficial. The other is genuine intent, sincerity to resolve disputes. That sincerity is not there at all in Prime Minister Modi's stance. What his utterances, the utterances, statements of his ministers, of his generals are certainly not conciliatory. They are confrontationist. They are not the same as in my time with Prime Minister Vajpayee and Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, where both sides were sincere in their attempts to reconcile and to resolve disputes. That is not the case. So these artificial, superficial issues of invitations to birthdays and going to each other's swearing-in ceremonies, these are superficial elements.
So you're saying that there was no real intention on the part of Mr. Modi to try and normalise relations with Pakistan. Can the same be said of Pakistan? Is there any desire from Pakistan to normalise relations with India?
No. I mean, let me frankly and very honestly say that no, the intentions are different. Pakistan is a much smaller country. We want peace. We want peace through resolution of disputes. Now that is where the catch-22 situation is, that we want to resolve disputes with sovereign equality and our honor and dignity guarded. Because we are not a small country. We may be much smaller than India, but we are the 5th largest country of the world in population, and maybe our military is also the 5th largest or 6th largest military in the world. And we are a nuclear power. We can't be just brushed aside as a small country like Bhutan. So therefore, while India should realize that we are not a small country, and we will never buckle down to their subjugation as they want to do with Pakistan, we want honor and dignity restored. If they want to do that, Pakistan is certainly for peace.
Well, you mentioned disputes. One of the biggest disputes, of course, between India and Pakistan is the issue of Kashmir. Do you foresee a time when any progress can be made on that subject?
Progress can be made if both sides want. They say you can never clap with one hand. It needs two hands to clap. Both sides have to, first of all, have the sincerity to resolve the dispute. Secondly, they have to be flexible enough to listen to each other's points of views and accept others' point of views, if better. And thirdly, they have to have the courage to meet halfway in any dispute resolution. And when you meet halfway, you really are giving half and taking half. You cannot be taking all. Now that is where courage is required by the leaders. Now this is where people fail, leaders fail. They want to take all, and then they become rigid and inflexible. They don't want to give at all. So therefore, I think while dispute resolution is not easy, but if there is true amount of sincerity and flexibility, dispute resolution can be achieved We had a 4-point formula in my time, and we were moving forward genuinely towards peace. We were drafting a peace agreement. So therefore, these things are possible when both sides want peace.
You say it's down to the leaders to show the path forward when it comes to trying to get peace between the two countries. But the problem in Pakistan, of course, is that leaders are very influenced by the army. You're an army man. You know this, of course, and the criticism is that the Pakistani army has no interest in better relations with India.
This is most unfortunate. Let me tell you, again, with all sincerity, now I really don't know how. I wish there was some system of proving or showing my sincerity when I'm saying that. Yes, indeed, I'm an army man, and I've commanded the army for so many years. I know the army inside out. I know their feelings inside out. They are for peace. As I said, we are a smaller country. We cannot have an aggressive stance. Our overall military strategy is of defensive deterrence. That is our strategy. That has been, the military has been tasked to ensure the integrity of the country through a mechanism of defensive deterrence, not offensive at all. So we want peace. So this element that you're talking of has been spread by India. And they have been spread by those who are against Pakistan, and they want to balkanize Pakistan, they want to weaken Pakistan, they want to weaken the army. That is not the case. We want peace, and army is all the way with the government if they want peace.
Okay, I mean, we know that relations between the two countries were never so low as immediately after the Mumbai attacks in India in 2008. The complaint from India that the Pakistani government backed the group which carried this out. And this is a constant criticism from India and from the US that Pakistan is unable to rein in terrorist groups.
Well, I mean, let us analyze these things and get to the core of the problem, and then understand why such things occur. Certainly, no sane person will support whatever happened in Bombay, but let's not stop there. Let's go back. The environment between India and Pakistan, it's of tension, it's of confrontation. There is another issue, the environment within India of Muslim versus Hindu. This is a very serious issue, especially these days, where Muslims are being killed at random. Now, this creates antagonism between these two very big elements of Hindus are obviously in majority, but Muslims are about 20% of India. Now, this is what happened. Now, when you are talking of Bombay, you have forgotten what happened in Gujarat. Gujarat, 2,000 Muslims were butchered by the Hindus, while the same Prime Minister Modi was the chief minister, and he was abetting with the police. Now, we forget that because India is too strong, too big, and they ensure that the world, their diplomatic exterior maneuver is successful.
Nevertheless,
and the world forgets about whatever they do.
Isn't it contingent on the Pakistani government to rein in terror groups? You yourself were criticized by the US for not doing enough to control the jihadis. So this is clearly, a source of dispute between not just Pakistan and India, but Pakistan and the West.
Well, I mean, your suggestion then is, whoever says that, I really take offense to it, because then, again, we have to do. Pakistan should rein in terrorists. They will keep killing 2,000 people in Gujarat. Next time they will kill in Delhi, and the third time they'll kill somewhere else. That will be ignored. But we have to rein in our terror. The problem is there is emotional attachment, there is emotionalism between the Muslims of Pakistan with the Muslims of India. Therefore, when 2,000 people get killed there, or when there is an issue like the Samjhota Express, which was where many Muslims were again butchered there, through the attack, and an Indian serving major was involved in that. All these are ignored. So these, whatever happens in Bombay or elsewhere, is a reaction to these things. We want to ignore that. When you ignore that, you will never succeed. You will never succeed to bring peace between the two countries.
Let's talk about Pakistan today, because yet another political crisis in the country, Nawaz Sharif being forced to resign. Have you got any plans to go back to Pakistan and re-enter the political fray?
Well, let me say, yes, I have. And I have a vision for Pakistan because of the turmoil, the political turmoil that exists within Pakistan. Therefore, I believe the only solution to Pakistan's crisis, the political crisis, is to create a third political force. A third political force which is beyond ethnicity, and beyond sectarianism. Therefore, I think, which is not the case in any of the political parties at the moment. So therefore, I have a thought and I have a vision that the salvation of Pakistan and the security, the integrity of Pakistan lies in creating a third political force which has popularity in the whole of Pakistan, all the provinces of Pakistan, all the ethnic segments of Pakistan. And that is where I think maybe at this moment I have a role to play.
Do you think it'll be quite difficult for you to go back? Because you are facing a number of charges in the courts, including for treason and accusations over the assassination of Benazir Bhutto. Do you think you can return safely, given that?
No, I'll have to face them. But with the full knowledge that all these cases are politically inspired, especially by the Prime Minister who's left the scene now. We should also know that each one of these cases, each one of them, the ones that you've named, were initiated about 2 to 3 years after I left Pakistan, after I resigned. 2 to 3 years after I resigned. And only when I made my political party, this APML, after that, these cases were initiated. So you can understand the intentions of these cases. Now, if the initiator of that cases generally is out, well, we'll face these cases in the courts, and I hope justice will be done.
And quick final question, will the Pakistani people welcome you back? Do you think you have support in Pakistan? Because the last time you went back in 2013, it didn't seem as though you had a huge amount of support.
Yes, I totally agree with you. Although that was not a genuine view of my support, because in the last day, the venue was blocked by the police and our permission was withdrawn. We were supposed to have this the gathering somewhere else at the Quaid-e-Azam Mausoleum. And then a lot of things happened because of which the support was, and I agree with you that the public support was not there. But let me tell you, if you go to Pakistan and find out from the people of Pakistan, today they are harking back entirely to the days of my governance, and they all think that it was that time where they had, people were happy, there was welfare of people going on, and there was tremendous amount of socio-economic development going on in Pakistan. This is the general feeling everywhere. Now, one has to muster that through creating a platform. I don't have the platform at the moment. I am trying to create a platform.
Do you want to be Prime Minister?
Like-minded people. No, I don't want to. I think there has to be a more dynamic, younger person who should become a Prime Minister. I can be only in the advisory role, which I think I can help out.
And very quickly, because we are running out of time, are you able to tell us when you're going back to Pakistan?
Yeah, that's $1 million question.
It is, and I was hoping you would answer it on this show.
I always believe And I've been telling these to the Americans also when they were talking of, we are going to leave in 2014. I always used to say, never make it time related, always make it effect related. You should talk of effects. What effects you want to create, leave when those effects are created.
Pervez Musharraf, thank you very much indeed for joining us.